mbokki Gambia maa ngi leen nuyób jàmm nuyób yërmande te ànda ak barke nuyoo yi faaxe ko AG radio ak seeni mbokka Saliu Njaay ñoomati mbégte gu mag dellu siwaat di waxtaan ak yéen programme tey bi ñu ngi waxtaane migration issues doomani Gambien yu bari ñu ngi tombas géej gu magge ñi egganeen ñi eggut ñu bari dal di ñàkk seeni bakkan mu nekkalu daw yaram waaye ana lan mooy li waral sul xale yu jigéen yi xale yu góor yi ñeneen ñi sa ay mag leen bàyyi Gambia dugga si gaal yi ni ak nim dangeroosee pour rek bugga eega in the shores of Europe ana lan moo li leen motivate ana lan mooy li leen a push ba tax ñuy def lii te li nekk na lu daw yaram ñu bari dem neen dootul gisante seeni njaboot ñi ñu bari dem neen des ci géej gi am na ñoo xam ne dem neen ba eega nekk fay at ñu daldi leen delloo waaye ana lan moo waral lii ana lan mooy li waral ñu daw Gambia li yëpp dinañ ko waxtaanee tey nag sun gan gi am neen fi ñaari gan kenn ki mooy Ebrima Drammeh moom human rights activist la ba pare mu ngi yëngu ci di dimbale migrants ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi dem ak ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi leen delloosi ba pare tamit ñu ngi fi am benn gan gu ñuy ooyee Adrian Crorish moom Ireland la juddoo yaroo fi màggee fi waaye mu ngi dëkk Gambia ci jamono yi lu tolloog 20 at moom mooy ki nga xam ne mooy di founder of organisation bi ñuy ooyee AMAC lim firndeel mooy African Migration Advisory Center moom itam mu ngi yëngu ci di dimbale ndaw yi nga xam ne refugees yeeg migrants yi nga xam ne ñu ngi dem dellu si waat pour rek ñu am a new beginning pour mun a start seen life all over again ba ndog mbokk yi duma def lu dut daldi dem jëli suñ gan gi ma daldi ko tàmbalee ci Adrian, this is a pleasure to have you here. So this is the first time we invited you. So I would just like to say welcome to AG Radio, Adrian. So Adrian, for those who do not know you, who is Adrian Crorish?
Good evening, listeners. Thank you very much, Mr. Enjoy. My name is Adrian Crorish. I came to the Gambia in 2006, 2007, and I worked for a company called Ballast Needham on a road project from Soma to Basse. During the course of my years working there as the HSSC manager, PR, I was assigned to look for labour during the course of the road project, sourcing labour through different villages all the way down to Basse. I was doing that for about 2 or 3 years up to about 2013, and then I realised there was a decline in the youths that we were using for labour. And I realized that there was a migration issue going on, whether it was combos or, as I found out later on, people were migrating to Europe using the so-called back way. So after the project, I decided to go to Libya myself to investigate this, to find out more about it. But prior to that, I realized in the villages themselves, the nucleuses of the families were changing. Why one person out of a village would get to Europe and start sending money home. That family would then start building a concrete block house, and if they're lucky, they would also have an automobile outside that house. And everybody in the village were aspiring to be that. So this was like the drivers for the young people to be going to Europe, because everyone was seeing the benefits. But not everybody, obviously not everybody made it. So I went to Libya and I investigated it. I looked at it, was lucky enough to get access into the detention centres there, a male detention and a female detention centre. And I was totally shocked in what I saw there. I got access to the Navy vessels as well. Of course, during that time, Libya was a failed state. Gaddafi obviously got taken out of power, and it was a failed state. I went to Lampedusa, And of course, what I saw in Lampedusa was totally shocking. Young Africans just washed ashore. I was lucky. I went to see some post-mortems being done to see the whole process and how they were, when they were actually found dead on the beach, the whole process, where they were taken, and what was done in relation to try and repatriate them or to find out their identification. And I realized that was zero. Actually, there wasn't any identification done. There wasn't any procedures in place for post-mortem data, other than the cause of death. There's no actual central database in Europe for young Africans that find themselves washed offshore, dead. And I came across hundreds of young Gambians, West Africans, dead and buried in unmarked graves with just numbers. The whole thing shocked me, as a European. I think human rights, the basic human rights you should be able to be identified in death. So as a result of all my experiences, I decided to come back to the Gambia and set up an NGO and look into collecting anti-mortem data from parents. I slowly realized after a year or so, you can collect as much data from missing children from parents, but if you haven't got post-mortem data to cross-check it, you're only building up a very big database going nowhere. So I decided to look into Europe and see if I could partner with an organization called the International Commission on Missing Persons. Luckily enough, I signed a data partnership agreement with them on the 15th in The Hague. Now, they are one of the biggest forensically aware organizations in the world. This is a great opportunity for not just the Gambia, but for West Africa, connecting anti-mortem data that's from parents of missing children lost on the back way. Now that possibility of actually checking post-mortem data in Europe is now possible. So that makes this data partnership possible. The issue regarding the back way and Europe, this new social currency of one man leaves the village, takes the back way, reaches Europe, sends money home, builds a concrete back house, buys a car, and then suddenly he's respected, he's admired. His story becomes the village blueprint, if you understand me. Then the whole village wants the same outcome. Well, obviously that's not going to be possible, So I decided to look into the sensitization, into taking more data, but then understanding the drivers behind why they go. What I've noticed over the years is that the gender has changed. It used to be males, now it's females and babies and children. Everybody wants to aspire to go to Europe. It's like a rite of passage now. But what I'm noticing in the Gambia, especially, that there's more foreign workers from West Africa in Gambia now. So the more youths that leave the Gambia, the more foreign workers come in and fill the labour gap.
Yeah.
So for some of them to say there isn't any jobs. I'm on a gilly nearly every day, and I'm hearing the voices in the gillies changing from Nigerians to Sierra Leone. I have no problem with that, but the issue is this.
Adrian, do you sometimes take the gele? Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you one of the reasons is I'm very much connected to the grassroots here in the Gambia. I'm a Gambian, pretty much a Gambian now at this stage. And I just feel that to be right inside all this, you've got to feel the people. And if you're going to be in an AC car, an AC home, without connecting with the public, you're never going to know what's happening, get the feel and the vibe of what's happening. So I take the gilly, I go to Tangi, I do my shopping, I integrate with the fishing people, I understand what's happening in the culture on the grassroots level. I'm here 20 years, so I'm well immersed in the society. But what I'm seeing is a change in the society in that the different trades now, from construction to electronics, mechanics, these are all foreign staff foreign youths coming here to fill the labour gap. So it's sad to me when you hear the youth say there's no possibilities of work. I question that. I think it's this issue of going to Europe is the narrative has to change, because it's all based on misinformation from social media, from also the people in diaspora that have made it, sending pictures, which is all nonsense, all of it. I mean, Ebrima can back me on this. If you go and see the way they live, it's so the misinformation also, the narrative has to change. And one of the other drivers is from the government perspective, because this is a collective responsibility, is what I've seen is that the minimum wage, there isn't any minimum wage in the Gambia. And wages, people that were on, salaries of 5 years ago hasn't changed. And yet with the increase of fuel and the increase of transport, goods have increased, commodities have gone up, but it's not in parity with wages. So people are driven into poverty very quickly with the minimum wage because prices are always increasing. And every week the commodity prices increase, it drives people into poverty. So that's one of the biggest drivers is that, alongside the misinformation. Europe is not all what it's cracked up to be. The battlefield for all this, Mr. Njai, is, in my opinion, is the schools. Children need to be taught about migration, about trafficking. What is trafficking? About smuggling. What is smuggling? What about safe pathways to Europe through education, through sponsorship, through programs like that? Children need to be taught at a very young age here in the Gambia or in West Africa. That's the battleground for this. There needs to be a program for schools for this particular subject. They are the decision makers for tomorrow, and they are the very future for tomorrow. At the moment, the Gambia is losing its future.
Your story is very, very unique. A man born in Dublin, Ireland, living in Gambia for about 20 years now,
Absolutely.
and is so concerned about the migration issue. Your story is very, very unique. And I really appreciate the work that you are doing. I was looking at your organization, which is called AMAC. What are the main push factors driving young Gambians to migrate through irregular routes?
Okay. In my opinion, a large portion of the information that they're getting is misinformation. I think it's become a rite of passage in the young people's minds that they won't make it at home. They have to go to Europe. So, the Gambian shores have become a departure lounge for Europe, which is, it's not, the misinformation, the narrative has to change, Mr. Njai. It can't go on like this. People have to be sensitized. The youths of this country have to be desensitized. If you can't make it in your own country, okay? My perspective is if you can't make it in your own country, then, you think you're going to make it in Europe. I'm sorry. The Geneva Convention is telling you can't even be there. And the children don't even know that. The people going on these canoes don't even realize there are asylum laws based back in the World War II. The Geneva Convention is there, and that's only based on, people coming from war-torn countries, persecution, etc. You could maybe go there in exile from Yahya Jammeh's times because of dictatorship, but at the moment we're living in a peaceful country. So children don't realize, or young people don't realize, there is laws about asylum, about refugees and how you secure asylum. I don't hear anybody talking about the Geneva Convention. I never hear anybody talking about it.
So, Adrian, did the Geneva Convention put restrictions so that they cannot stay in Europe, or what?
That's correct. I mean, the actual convention itself clearly states, most of Gambian claims are rejected. Deportations are increasing. Lives are being destroyed twice, one at sea and once in Europe. You may reach the Canary Islands, but in eight days or so, you'll be rejected. Because of the Geneva Convention protocols state prosecution, state violence, armed conflict. These are the reasons why you get asylum. But coming from the Gambia in Europe is classified as a safe country. So if you're coming from a safe country and you expect asylum, don't blame the Europeans if you're going to be denied that, Yeah. So it's also lack of information. If they knew this from a school age, how to get to Europe. Let's start like that. How to get to Europe safely,
Yeah, but unfortunately, many of these people traveling, they are not aware of these Geneva Conventions and some of these laws.
Exactly.
But Adrian, how has unemployment influenced the rise of irregular migration in the Gambia?
Okay. Let's look at now the agricultural sector. At the moment, there isn't enough young people in the URR, CRR, LRR regions from Basse to Soma, from Soma to Basse. It's like a dust bowl. There are people doing a lot of work, but in general, the amount of land that's turning into a dust bowl because there's old people there. A lot of young people have left this country. The human capacity, the human resources here are struggling to get Gambians to work. There is work there, Mr. Njai. The problem is that a lot of youths have left. And who's replacing them is outside workers from surrounding countries in West Africa, and it's good we have them. But if you talk to anybody like Mr. Tapp from Tapp, Mr. Njai from Tapp, he'll tell you his biggest problem is getting staff that are Gambian. carpenters,
So
electricians.
Adrian, is it that
You
the
know,
Gambians, they are lazy, or is it that they just don't want to
No,
work?
it's not that. It's not that. No, what it is, the skill structures aren't here. You know, if you want to compete with Europeans or compete with other West African countries, you have to have a good foundation of training. Whereas if you've got to have an apprenticeship capacity to service those industries. If you're looking for a high labour-intensive industry to come here, the CEO will come here with pockets of money. First two things he'll look at. One, human resources. Two, electricity. That's power, to power his factory. He looks at the human resources and then he looks at the educational, the skills of these people. That's a serious problem. It needs to be addressed where there's a rethink about the skills training, where a certificate should be secured that you can go anywhere in the world with. Because, you know, electricity, plumbing, carpentry, masonry haven't changed. The foundations, the rudiments are there. But if you've got a very good apprenticeship program that's accepted in Germany, that's accepted in UK, that's accepted in Ireland, these people can travel. At the end of the day, Europe is getting older. The demographics and geographics of Europe are changing. Africa could be the working. It's like this. Europe needs workers. Africa needs jobs. If you train them to the same skill sets as they need, it could be a fair trade-off. So there really needs to be a serious think about if you want a carpenter, you know, make sure he's trained and has a proper apprenticeship in line with all other European countries and African countries. So, you know, people should be coming here and saying, okay, there's a good pool of human resources here that are well skilled in their trade. I couldn't say that. All I can say to you now, if I want a carpenter, I'll probably look for a Senegalese carpenter, a mechanic possibly as well. I find that very sad that we can't have a pool of very skilled staff or workers in the different trades. That, you know, it's my opinion and it's what I see on the ground. Now, people probably have another opinion to me, but this is what I feel. There needs to be a rethink on how this training process starts in schools, where there needs to be career counselling. You know, in schools, teaching, showing people what trades you want to be in. You know, we've lost a lot of young people without career counselling.
Yeah,
why? Because
very,
they
very
don't
sad.
really focus on their passion, you know.
Very sad.
You
So,
know,
Adrian, I have another question here for you. What is your response to people who are saying that climate change affected farming, which contributed to the migration issue?
I would say yes, and then I would say no too. The River Gambia is there, but it's underutilized. Climate change has affected the rainwater. So people are reliant on boreholes. Then boreholes take energy, so you have to buy solar or you have a generator. I think in the Gambia, it's probably one of the most blessed countries in the world because it has its own natural reservoir of fresh water from a certain area, from a certain section of the River Gambia where it's not salted. It has a natural water supply, apart from boreholes. The redirection of that water should be rethought about. So when you talk about climate change, yes, it has having an effect. But at the same time, in tandem to climate change, it should be in tandem to that the River Gambia should be more utilized. And the redirection from the River Gambia into the provinces URC or LRR should take place. It's engineering. So if climate change is increasing, they should think about the water supply which grows the crops. The photosynthesis is there because sunlight is natural. So there needs to be also a rethink. If there's climate change, then you have to look at the resources that you have. So if rain is reducing, then you have to look at source of water. And in my opinion, the Gambia has no problem with water. So the only other thing about it would be maybe they're seeding early, or they're used to seed and the rainy season is extending, you know, but you kind of have to work and be more solution orientated. So if there's a climate issue, you have to see what the drivers are, what we need to, you know, put in place to compensate. But in my opinion, there's a lot to be done. And people should look at the River Gambia and access the water from it and redirect it into the provinces and the provincial farming. Yeah. And bring the youths back to the farming, you know, like this, you know, we all need to butcher the tail of the candlestick maker, you know. A lot of people look down on farmers. Oh, I'm not going to be tilling the ground. I don't want to be doing that. You know, I want this, I want that.
How do families in the Gambia influence or support the decision for their children to migrate
Okay, well, the family nucleus in the Gambia is always, it's never changed in the sense that it's always been the elder boy, whose responsibility is when he gets older to look after a family. I mean, children are the pension for elders in the Gambia, and that's not a bad thing, I'm not running it down at all. The problem I have with this is that there's a lot of peer pressure from the family members to possibly aspire to be other people that have gone to Europe and succeeded. And sent money home, and everybody. Again, I keep going back to that experience in the villages, the grass houses that they had, and somebody built a concrete house, and everybody aspired to be like that. How I've seen the family nucleuses here in the Gambia, it's changed. You can be happy poor in a village, Mr. Njai. I don't know if you understand me. But over the 20s village, and they were poor, yes, but there was a happy poorness about it. There was a family nucleus that all worked together, and it takes, to rear a child years ago, it took a village. I don't know whether you've heard that saying before, but, I feel that nucleus has changed. So yes, the drivers, I think that the parents, the elders, the imams, the al-qailos need to start using their wisdom in age and their grey hair to start rethinking about what values have we lost with this back way? Really, we've lost a lot of family values that everybody is aspiring to go away. That's where our future is. The future is here in the Gambia.
Adrian, one thing that surprised me is, despite the dangers, the back way route is still popular. Why?
Well, it's absolutely disgusting. I think it's lack of information. I think it's people, taking the chance, taking all for what? Last month, Mr. Njai, we had, I can't remember the numbers, but it's the biggest amount of people leaving the Gambia. I mean, that's not just, it's Gambians and other West Africans leaving. I think it's going to take a big drive on sensitization, like what Ebrima is doing, what we're doing. We're hoping to start a campaign on the missing migrants, start a campaign to do a countrywide tour. I think if the people start seeing pictures of missing people, they'll start thinking and rethinking about sending their children. Future doesn't lie out in another country. The future is here. I mean, every youth and every elder knows the national anthem. If you start looking and thinking about the lyrics that are in that national anthem, everybody is going against it, including the elders, including the parents, including the children. If you think about the national anthem itself, that itself should be a guide mark. The national anthem is a guide mark or a roadmap for a country. Every lyric and every word that's in that, everybody's going against it.
But not many Gambians are aware or fully understand what the national anthem is saying. That is the problem.
I agree. I understand that, but to simplify things, because the problem also is you have, Mr. Njai, and it's nobody's fault, you have a higher illiteracy rate here. You have people, whereas education, they've left school at a very young age. Again, no fault of their own. So when you have a society that's largely illiterate, then it takes using simple technologies to teach them. And that means going from village to village, from Bantabar to Bantabar. This is why we posted an online form for missing migrant data form for a data set for them to fill out. Forget about it. The only way you can sensitize people is going from village to village, explaining it in local language, using simple technologies to pass on the sensitization. So it can be done. It's a conundrum, but it's fixable, it's doable. But it can only be done face to face.
But do you think it is entirely left to the people and not the government? Don't you think the government should intervene to help the people?
I do believe that the sensitization has to begin from the top, and that's the government to help civil society, like Ebrima's society, civil society, my organization. We are very passionate, and you can feel it. We are good people to link with. Civil society are grassroots. Government is government. So you really need to touch base with the core people in URR, CRR, LRR, and in all the villages. Take civil society to do it. Yes, they should do something. And I think we are, close to something with the immigration department here, please God. So we're knocking on the doors. It's a very slow process. But my fear is this. If it goes on any longer, if it continues on like this, my concern is for the future of this country, because the youths are the future. If you don't protect the very resource, the only resource you have in this country is your youth. We don't have gold and diamonds and oil here. So the youth are the natural resources in this country. And yes, there should be more parental governance on young people in this country. From the reintegration perspectives, from the educational perspectives, as I said to you before, this all stems back. The battleground of all this is about sensitization and schooling, where there needs to be programs in school teaching children that there are options. There are safe options to go to Europe, and there's options in the Gambia. You know, the Gambia is now at the moment being overrun by foreign workers here, and thank God for them. If we didn't have them, what would happen to the construction trade? Ask any of the developers in the country, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
So,
thank you very much, Adrian. Now, Adrian, if you just stop there, I'll come back to you in a moment. So now let's turn to Ebrima Drammeh. Ebrima, can you just introduce yourself for many people who don't know you? Who is Ebrima Drammeh, and how did you get involved with the Gambian migration?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Njai. Abaraka bake, ngeten tu bake, ani mol mil bebe la mo rola radio pesante ani online ibe daw landing. Nto mo Ebrima Drammeh budon Gambia jam mo jama ba me be yelong Ibrahim migration situation la. Ibrahima mo Gambia diwonati me yalon ko wuluta sandu dasla men basse banko ka yuarat. Ndefana nga ko masilota me yalon ko ndarani bagwela mbota Gambia jam bring year 2013. Nga ko masilota mfao mi yalon ko kaba Gambia jang kata Senegal fu Mali kata Burkina Faso kata Niger fu Libya kadon fu Italy mi yalon ko mfao dara silo nyinela difficulty jamal je silo kan bot mi yalon ko Sahara kono wadi Mediterranean kono mi yalon ko nga fen jama face je. So that's the reason mi yalon ko birim fana fotata tiwawdu. I don't put my hands together nga menke no dron. Current time mental beta Europe what it was like 13 to 14 years ago. What more smartphone or mental caring. So in the communication of it is very slow among communication of Mekomoko sign Benjamin. What more online radio imansia back a caring me alonko telephone fana imansia back but what more communication of among symbol sort of back like today. Derkada what me Europe there's no information me alonko. Neighbor Silokan people, your family, many family, nobody get information about you. Sometimes you go 1 month, you can go 2 months without information. In a family background, even any condition, nobody know. So the reason different that activation start is the reason. What I mean to go, the people back home, they have to be aware what is happening in the street, what is happening in this dangerous journey in the Sahara, in the Mediterranean, and even in Europe. So what na kan fana wakilindi and with the activation kono ka lo Gambia migrant here nga start through Gambian la bari apa na ta kembuli nyami anata ke Africa belity because we get information the communication of financial throughout Africa belam katafu memu India Bangladesh katafu Nepal because ni aljibi wol fana katama ni bagwel la bake me yalon ko Eritrea Ethiopia Somalia Sudan ka bela cover so kabako ka funti asuriata don me kumo sudan wol min de ko yes like me for ka wol min ko so bata mega kasido kan the difficulties migration ka migrant ka men face so since we put Europe so nga tefana nata men start wol min de ko I can start something me yalon ko ka communication o yele through Gambian migrants and Gambian migrant anila family men yalon ko they are back home. So nada start wala nyama ni migration migrant men yalon ko Tunisia Libya before Tunisia wakata ni last 8 years 5 years ago Tunisia started back. But what more time mental kana Europe in 2013 14 kana 2008 what more Libya be thinking back. So well we am funding so I just try information also about migrants. Many Gambian migrants are funding public site the Gambian migrant will be tenne if this condition will kono taninting so dunta wala kono wala into the activation ning fan kono from found nata sometimes kada jio kono kada rescue la ka ko down keno ka migration of migrant dema Africa doni ani Gambia doni na start to help Gambians bari ko nga fanyame anata ke fentimi alonko anata op warambulo kono bake mi alonko anata ke nzafono dunia bele kala moy mi yanan ko haniti baboli mi yanan ko mo jama bal ni be do bola migration ni Kenya la pour ka Gambia don ni Africa don de ma mi yanan ko wolle ben ko masilo kan jama beje e ka batal soto soko arab bankol kan mi yanan ko sulal ni ben ko Libya Tunisia Morocco nyoli Algeria mi yanan ko Africa no karbada wo silol kan bake so dali lo le mbuta fanam fontita ka démarrer Africa don la ani Gambia don
Jerejef Ebrima Drammeh. Ebrima, have you been to Libya Because I've heard you mention Libya and Tunisia. Have you been to these countries?
I was in Libya for like 4 years.
4 years?
Yes.
How did you end up in Libya?
Libya, well, not in Libya before I arrived in Libya in 2008.
Did you enter through the back way? Or?
Yeah, through the back way, through Sahara Desert.
Okay.
From Agadez to Gatron, Sabah to Tripoli.
Okay, take this one in English,
like
Mr. Drammeh. Can you just explain to us, how was the journey like when you left Gambia through the seas before you arrived in Libya and Tunisia?
What Andre was saying, the reason I go to this back because the time I was living in Gambia here, I was working.
Mm-hmm. What were you working? What was your job?
I was having a vehicle. I drive from Gambia to Guinea-Conakry.
So you were a driver?
Yes. I have a vehicle here which I drive from Gambia, from Basse to go to Kundara in Guinea-Conakry, from Kundara to Labe, Conakry, sometimes come to Guinea-Bissau.
Do you used to transport people, or do you used to take some merchandises, goods, and transport them?
I transport people.
You transport people?
Having a vehicle. Yes, I was having a vehicle. So I was working with this vehicle to go from Basse. I take people from Basse to Conakry, Senegal, Tamba, Jaobi, and other places.
So you were having a job. What motivated you to abandon your job and took the back way?
Yeah, this is the reason. For me, it's like when I went to Conakry for trip, I came back. So when I go to the village, so if I ask people where is
which village are you from? Which village are you talking about?
Tandu Daslam in Basse.
Okay, in Basse.
So yes. So when I ask when I ask anyone, the next question I hear that he entered Italy yesterday. So I was there seeing people with a lot of pictures. They taking pictures as they are when Andre was saying. They go and stand with the one vehicle taking a picture or one-story building and everything. So I was there. I said, why? These are young people. I'm very older than these people. These young boys are in Europe now. Why am I going? Because this is my fate, and this is many of the African.
So I just want to understand the way you were thinking. Were you thinking that because of these people are taking picture in front of a building, maybe they own the building or they own the car? Was that how you were thinking at that time?
No, I know they don't own the. I know they don't own the car.
What was going through your mind then?
Yeah, but in my mind, when I see those people, I said, okay, these people are living in a good condition, and they just. For me, I was very stupid though before. When I see these people, they just enter in.
And you are talking about 2008. This was around 2008.
Yeah, this was 2008. So I was in 2008. I was in Libya. So I tried Libya to cross, but it was very difficult to cross at that time. That time was the Gaddafi. Gaddafi was in Libya. So I was in Libya until 2011. There was a war that was started. So I think we are the first batch that President Jammeh bring flights. We came back to Gambia here. So I came back to Gambia here. I was here like 2009, 11, 12, 13. So I was here working.
Okay, Ebrima, when you were in Libya, how were you surviving?
I was in Libya. Because I went to Libya in 2 times. My first trip was okay. That time the government was there was a government in Libya. They smuggle people, but that time there's a law, there's no this kind of weapons everywhere. That time the things are much better because we go to work. At the end of the day, they pay you. You come back to your room, your house. Sometimes they even arrest you. Yes, but the second time, the time of war, after the death of Gaddafi, Libya was totally disrupted. Everything is disaster. So my second trip was a disaster for me because my second trip I was with more than 100.
Okay, so Ebrima, during your second trip, around which year was this one?
This was 2013, November 2013 to March.
Okay.
Yeah, November 2013 to March 2024.
Okay. Okay, can you take us back and explain to us, your first trip to Libya? How was the back way like? Did you went with a boat? How many people were there? How long did it take? Did some people die on the way? Can you explain to us what happened?
Yeah, the first trip, the time I was going, that time there are lots of, I go with thousands, more than 10,000 people together. Because
Gambians? You mean Gambians?
No, all sub-Saharan Africa. These people come from all over sub-Saharan African countries. You have Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, Africa, Burkina, Mali, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, everyone.
The boat that you went with, where did it depart? From Gambia or from Senegal?
No, from Tripoli in Libya.
Okay.
Departed from Tripoli. But when before you take the boat, you have to cross the Sahara Desert first. So when you live here, everyone, all these sub-Saharan African countries, the last point is Agadez. Agadez is a Western Sahara.
So did you cross the Sahara Desert before you reach Libya?
Yeah. Yes.
So,
you have to cross Sahara Desert. Sometimes
were you walking or were you riding camels or donkeys or cars? How did you cross the Sahara Desert?
No, Sahara for us, we go by vehicle. That time there was they have vehicles called comba. This comba, you will see more than 100, like I can say 400 or 500 vehicles, big trucks, with a lot of people who they take goods from Niger. When they take
and how long does it take? How long did it take to cross the Sahara Desert?
Well, if you go with those big trucks, it's nearly take you like you can be 1 week. From Agadez, 1 week you can arrive.
1 week.
One week.
When you concern sleep, how did you sleep?
We don't sleep though. There's no sleeping time.
But you have food with you.
Yes, we have food. You usually have curry, sugar, sardine, this small biscuits. Those are the things.
And if somebody wants to go to toilet and things like that, want to use the restroom, where do you go?
Sahara, you can sit everywhere in Sahara. But the difficult thing is sometimes maybe you want to use the driver will not stop. Because sometimes you can see the driver will start running from morning until at 5 in the evening, the vehicle will not stop. I think the pickups, the type of pickups I'm saying, you see they put 30 people back of the pickup. You just put your stick and sometimes people fall. It's just very risky. I witnessed, I think, 2 people in my first trip, 2 people die. We are not the same comba, but I meet them. 2 of them died.
You say 2 people died. How did they die?
Well, they fall down from the vehicle.
And the vehicle did not stop to pick them?
Well, those people, they stopped though. But they all died. But I speak with many people who told me people fall from their vehicles and sometimes the driver doesn't stop. And that's when they tell you the driver doesn't stop, it's the truth because it doesn't mean I don't know those people. Those are these Chatian drivers, those who are living Agadez, Gatron, Sabah, I know them. They are very wicked. They don't care about anyone. I was living with them for many months. So I know a lot of people lost their life. Sometimes you will see a vehicle with gun. The vehicle also have a problem. They cannot fix it. Even the driver cannot fix it. Both the driver and everyone, if they don't see anyone else, then nobody will survive. There are a lot of people who also lost their life.
These drivers you are talking about, are they human smugglers, human traffickers, or what?
Yes, they are human traffickers. That's their work. They are all human traffickers.
And how much do you have to pay them?
Well, like from Agadez to Sabah, sometimes you pay them like 350 euros or dollars, 350.
So they only take dollars and euros. They don't take dollars or Senegalese CFA franc.
No, we pay them through. If you want, you can pay them through dollar. If you want, you can pay them through franc CFA or by dinar in Libyan money. So it's up to you. But normally, when you evaluate this money, it's like 300 or 350 euro from just from Agadez to Sabah. So then from Sabah also you have to smuggle another smuggler who will take you from Tripoli, from Sabah to Tripoli. From Sabah to Tripoli, if you go by vehicle, it's just like 7 hours drive. But sometimes you can stay in the journey for like 5-6 days because you are smuggling.
During this time, do you have your Gambian passport, or you were not having any document along with you?
No, I was not having my passport, but I was having my identity card. My Gambian identity card was with me. But in this journey, when you have your document, if you have a passport, you have a passport, it's zero. There's no benefit on it.
Why?
So normally because for me, first time I know the journey. So my second time, the time I'm going, I photocopy my identity card. I think I like 20-something photocopies. I put it in my bag. So because when you arrive, just from here in Senegal, in Kidra, border with Senegal and Mali, Kidra and Diboli, when you arrive, the Senegalese, they will ask you money. You pay some 1,000 francs. From there, you enter Mali. Every checkpoint, you have to pay money. Some 5,000 francs CFA, some 1,000, some 10,000, 10,000 francs CFA. This is a lot of money here. You spend.
Okay. These payments that you make, is it legal or is it a kind of bribery?
This is by force. You have to pay.
Yeah, I understand. But is it bribery or is it? Do they give you receipt?
Yeah, it's a bribery. This is I don't even. What is a bribery? I can say because they force you to pay this money. It is the money is not going to in the government account or other thing. This is by force. When any checkpoint you come, they will tell you to pay this money. So when you pay this money, before you pay money, they will take when they come inside the bus. Everyone in the bus, they will take your identity cards from you. When they take your identity card, they will go inside the station. They tell you to come. When you come and pick your ID card, they tell you 10,000, 5,000. So for me, I don't pay this money. I know I have a lot of ID cards.
Okay, Mr. Drammeh, I just want to know, if you run out of money, do you think they will allow you to pass or they will detain you?
Sometimes they detain people, but when they detain you, they know when they leave you there, you're gonna suffer and they cannot do nothing. So another bus which is coming like from Bamako to Burkina to Ouagadougou, from Ouagadougou to Niamey, then they will put you on another bus because they are all the same company. Like when the company is a Rainbow company, so Rainbow, they have more than 10 buses who are running every day. So when they drop you in this, they know really you don't have nothing.
Ebrima, I'll ask you a very disturbing question. You know, we used to hear like women or some girls who are taking this back way, and some of them, you know, ended up being raped or even killed. You know, these are horrible stories. What can you tell us about that?
It's quite true. I have faced a lot of women. I have seen a lot of girls who have been raped. I know them personally. I met them in the journey who have been raped, who have been kidnapped. And I have been, even today, as I'm speaking, I'm always speaking with girls who, I don't know, they have been raped. Maybe just like, even some Gambian women, and many I know them, because they come to me, they open to me, and maybe if they bring some social media, they will feel sad, they will feel ashamed to talk to their stories. But even in Italy, I try to speak with many Gambian women who come there to try to how they can help them to apply their asylum procedure. There are some NGOs, Caritas, who try to help them. They can tell them their story, and sometimes I give their story to some journalists. Even they don't publish their names, they different the names. They can give another names, and they will not show them their face. But I know a lot of Gambians, even Gambians, there are many I know who have been raped, who have been tortured in detentions. By the kidnappers, or sometimes in the people we call them cockshare, the agent himself. The agent will be there, you'll be sleeping with her, I will take you, they will force you to sleep with them just to help you to do everything. These are something quite true, and it's happening, even today I'm speaking, it's happening in Tripoli.
Were there cases of pregnancy and things like that?
Thousands. As I'm speaking today, we have two ladies who has been given birth today in kilometer 21 and kilometer 24 in Fax, Tunisia. Normally, those people who have been raped and other things, normally we don't publish these things. But we have a group which we are communicating. We have a doctor called Dr. Ibrahim Fofana. He's from Sierra Leone. We made some local hospital in that bush called Fax. Because Fax is near the rivers. All those sub-Saharan Africans, there are more than 8,000 people living there. They are all there, so when they have problems...
Okay, these people, are they Gambians or are they from different countries in Africa?
No, different countries of Africa. Everywhere.
Okay, Cameroon, I would like to know, Ebrima, how do you get to know all these things? Do you have a WhatsApp group where you communicate with them, or do they contact you? How do you get contact with them?
Yes, we have a communication. There are NGOs who we communicate. We have a WhatsApp group. As I'm speaking, we have a group called our medical unit.
If you say you are talking about your organization, you are talking about the organization that you are together with Adrian, or are you talking about another organization?
No, this is another organization. Many are living in Europe. These are like humanitarian groups, like some are rescue people, some are rescue boats, alarm phone. Some association called Refugees in Libya, Refugees in Tunisia, African itself, refugees. So we have a different association. We all join together. We share information. Whatever happening here, we all get it. Like when something happened in Gambia here about boats and other things, I have my own personal WhatsApp forums. That's Ibrahim Migration Situation. We normally give public, but we also have a groups. That one are secret groups. Normally, we don't publish many things from those groups. But even today, yesterday, some of our crew members are in ICC in Hague. There was one Libyan guy. He was the head of their military unit in Navy. He tortured people. He kidnapped them, beat them, raped them, and other things. So yesterday, some of our people are in Hague to make demonstration and other things. But we can't. But yesterday, the International Criminal Court has in charge of the man. Now they want to extradite him from Libya to Hague to take him to court and do what.
What is this man's nationality? Is it just him, or is it some other man?
He is the leader of the Navy. That was doing this.
What is his nationality and what is his name?
His name is Mahmoud Hult from Libya. He's a Libyan.
Around how old do you think he is?
I can say like 50 something though. You can get 50, 49, like 48, 49, 50, but for sure it can be like 50s.
Okay. Ebrima, has it ever happened that somebody get pregnant and give birth to a baby? Has it ever happened?
Even today, I'm speaking this morning in the group. They sent two women. One is from Sierra Leone, another one is from Guinea-Conakry.
So they have babies?
Yeah. Yes, today they all give birth. This
through forced marriages or through rape?
No, normally many are rapes. That's what I'm saying. Many are rapes.
But those are sexual violence. That is a crime.
It's a sexual violence, a crime. But what can we do? That's the problem.
So what is going to happen to the babies?
Well, there was even a Gambian woman who died last year. She was having 2 babies. This lady was even kidnapped. I can even give you, I don't know many ladies. Some are even back in Gambia here. I think even yesterday I spoke with one girl. His name is Mariam. Well, but he was being raped by another Gambian, another agent, which since the time he's even gave birth, these agents just throw this girl out. And I see many of these girls like this. Many are back in Gambia here. I speak with them always.
Mr. Drammeh, can you speak to some of them? Can you speak to some of them? Of course, they don't have to come to the radio, but I would like to speak to them. Can you facilitate that so that I speak to some of them? At least if it is one.
Yes, I can do that. That's not going to be a problem.
Okay.
As the Gambian, many they do feel like.
Hey, why, Mr. Drammeh, what you are saying, these are very, very difficult stories to hear. Very, very difficult to digest this thing. Okay, now let's come to the psychological side of this issue. Do some of them have psychological problem, experience some kind of mental crisis and things like that?
That's everyone. When you are in Libya, many people, because I was speaking with someone in Gambia here, many people are having this psychological problem because not only those ones. You will see a migrant, since he lived here, he was being tortured, he was being kidnapped, or he was in the sea, they have an accident, maybe 10, 5, 15 people survive. He's the part of people who survive. He get more traumas. He was living like that kind of condition, every day taking and other things. So when they came back here in Gambia, their integration system is zero. Gambia is zero. There's no.
So you mean that when they manage to make it back home, there is no support, there is no psychological support?
There is no support. Even their family members are not supporting, bro. When you came back here, you are not coming from Europe. Even you are coming from Europe, you were deported back from Europe. Even you are making millions for them here, but when they know you are coming back, they deported you. People see you another person. They don't see you as the same person as this is the Ibrahim we used to know. This is Ibrahim, what he's doing. This. When you are deported, people use you, because I speak with people. Even in the provincial last week I was in Basi, I speak with more than 50-something returnees. 2 days ago, I was here in Bundum, in Rekos. I was invited there speaking. I see a lot of returnees who were complaining the same problems.
And as far as you know, when did the last boat left Gambia?
Well, I think 3 days ago there was a boat that departed here.
From where? From where in Gambia? From Tangier, from Brufut, or where?
No, this departed from Bara.
How many of them?
At the moment, I think we are having 3 boats in the sea.
3 boats in the sea?
One from Kafuta, yes. Another one Bara, another one in Jinek. But the one from Jinek today is like 60 days. Nobody have any information about that.
Nobody hear anything? They don't know their whereabouts?
Nobody. And their families are crying every day and night. Nobody care.
How many Gambians were in that boat?
Well, I can say 3/4 of them are all Gambian, because in this boat we have like 42 Gambian women.
They were boys and girls, men and women, and around. How old are they? Around which age? Their ages?
Well, normally those who go to the back way, normally from like here is like from 14 years to 35.
14 years?
People go 14 years to 35. So the small kids, those who go are their parents. Maybe your parents is there, you take his child, his baby. So normal those things happen always. But normally from 14, 15, 16 people are gone.
So this boat that get lost at sea for 60 days, they don't hear anything. They don't know the whereabouts of this boat.
Nobody know where this boat is. We are having a lot of information. We tried, even yesterday I was speaking with the Spanish Gambia embassy in Spain, Ebrima Drammeh. We are trying to find another solution. We can communicate with the maritime in Spain, other place we report. And today also, the embassy in Murseni also called me. in the morning. I was speaking with him also. We were discussing this issue. And I speak with the director of migration also this afternoon, I think around 3 o'clock, discussing about this both issues. So they tell me they all hear about it, so they also trying to do what we can do. But what I can say, this boat is still missing. We don't know where they are at the moment.
Mr. Drammeh, these are very disturbing stories to hear. So before I come to Adrian, thank you very much, Mr. Drammeh. I'll come back to you in a while. Before I come to Adrian, let me just give chance to the AG panel. I start with Babu Karmbo, Chair. You have heard what Mr. Drammeh just said, and also Mr. Adrian Crorish. Do you have any question, Chair?
Yes, Alaji Saleh. It's very, I don't know what to say. But one thing I don't understand, and it has been a lot of rumors about it going back and forward, that these people, when they are deported, normally they give the government some money so that they could rehabilitate them. Is that true?
Go ahead, Mr. Drammeh. Or let's just give a chance to Adrian. Adrian, over to you.
Andre will help you with that.
Okay.
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you, sir?
Good evening to you. Yes, there is an intergovernmental organization called IOM. They're funded by the European Union. They have a reintegration program here in the Gambia. And their responsibility is to take care of deportees or failed asylum citizens of the Gambia returning to the country. And they offer them services like what you were talking about, psychological help and counselling, medical, see what their medical situation is like, accommodation, and repatriation to parents. The issue that I have with it is, yes, they're doing their best, okay? But the Gambian government also needs to step in relation to this, because if deportees are coming back to the Gambia, an intergovernmental organization will look after them and reintegrate. There needs to be a buffer between the IOM and Gambian government. There needs to be a Gambian agency looking at the reintegration properly. It shouldn't be just left to the IOM, the intergovernmental agency. Gambian government need to also step in, and a separate agency needs to be set up to make sure that reintegration is properly done. Why I say this? One of the biggest problems with reintegration is the revolving door. If they're not properly reintegrated back into the bosom of their families and the love connection between their parents and embraced back into the family, they're going to go back. It's increasing the social, it's causing a huge social vacuum here where young people aren't properly reintegrated into the family system. So they fall foul into drugs, drink, and escapism because they are damaged goods. They've gone through horrendous experiences where most people wouldn't see in their lifetime. So these people need serious care and attention. You know, you got to remember the Gambia is the smallest country in Africa. It has the youngest population under the age of 25. Human resources is its only resource. If you don't reintegrate properly into the Gambia, it's a small country. That's why you feel foreign workers coming in here. The labour gap is there. You can feel it because it's not like Nigeria where you're living in a multi-million populated country. This is a very small country. It's a village. So when you start seeing people leaving and coming back and the reintegration, they're doing their best in IOM, I have to say. But there is more work to be done. There needs to be more parental guidance and parental governance. There needs to be a separate agency built in with governance of maybe possibly European Union be in there and other agencies and stakeholders to make sure that these people are reintegrated properly, because I feel there is some lack there and it's causing a social rift. It's causing criminality to rise. It's causing drug addiction, alcohol addiction. They're young people. These young people need to be treated like with kid gloves. They're children, you know? Okay, they may be 25 or whatever. In my opinion, they're children and they're returning home and they need to be treated like that. If their parents should be at the airport. They shouldn't, yes, immigration are there. Yes, you know, police have to be there. But, you know, let's take away all that officialdom. Let's look at them returning to the Gambia, their homeland. You know, let them embrace their family. Yeah? They risked everything, you know, and they're heroes, in my opinion. And they're not, you know, take the word migrant. deportee out of it. These labels that they're given is disgusting.
Definitely.
So from the reintegration has to be looked at. Otherwise, these youth are going to fall into ghettos. They're going to drink more, drug more. Ask the IGP in the morning. He'll tell you, drug abuse has increased. Crime has increased. Disrespect has increased. These young people have no direction. You know, it's like putting a child in a sweet shop and telling him not to eat sweets. He's going to eat sweets. You know, they need parameters and they need structure. But if they come home to no structure, not even back into the family nucleus, these are young people, and they need to have a framework, and they need to have boundaries. But if they're coming back they just feel nobody cares. And one big thing they lack is love. Love, my friend, is one of the biggest energies in the world. All of us know that. So the governance of their reintegration really has to be looked at. It has to be more parental. It has to be more caring and more human. We're all human beings, you know.
Brilliant, Adrian.
What is the biggest crime? What crime did they commit? Please tell me what crime did they commit. They left this country in the hope that they'd be able to help with the school fees, to help the family. You know, these people are young people. They're heroes, in my opinion. And let's take this deportee migrant label that criminalizes them. They're not criminals. They're young people, for God's sake.
Yeah.
This is.
If I may ask, Adrian, how do you think this should be addressed? What is the rightful or the most correct terminology to address these people?
In the sense of reintegration or the whole problem?
No, I mean, if the word deportee sounds a little bit negative, how do you think we should call them?
It's a Gambian. Change it. It's a Gambian citizen returning back to the Gambia after failed asylum. Finish.
Okay.
Don't put the deportee, migrant. It's disgusting. They're not criminals. They're here. Stop. Stop the officialdom, the epaulets, the meeting at the airport, the saluting. There needs to bring parents in, care, and most importantly, love, patriotism, love of one's country. They're not criminals.
Yes.
Please stop that.
Adrian, if you just stop there for a while, I think you have another question. Go ahead, Babukar. Chair, go ahead.
Yeah, because, what I was really looking for is that government to government, some people are saying that they give Gambia government money to rehabilitate these people, but there are no rehabilitation centers. There is no educational center.
That's exactly it. There is a need. Yeah, can I step in there for a minute? There is a need for...
I just want to ask, is it true that Gambia government got this money without using it for this?
That I'm not aware of, and I'm not okay with that, and I'm not politically minded. I'll be honest with you. I can't get politically minded. I don't have any affiliation, and I don't know that myself. All I know is that IOM are the body that's in charge of the reintegration program after a failed asylum, okay? For the government of the Gambia, maybe there's some funding given to them. I really don't know. That's something that you'll have to ask the right department in government. All I can say is this: there is a need, as that gentleman just said. There is a need, not just for the IOM. The IOM is only a building. It's like an embassy. The children knock at the door, they're looked at, and they're given directions. That's it. There needs to be a reintegration transition centre where these young people can be housed for a duration of time in a home type environment with house parents for a duration of time, 16, 20 days, to be reintegrated properly with the parents, so the parents are reintroduced and counselling has to take place. Training programs, a proper reintegration transition centre for these people. Otherwise, we're going to fail miserably, and we are failing miserably. And the statistics are there. Criminality is on the rise. Drug addiction is on the rise. It's absolutely disgusting what's happening. And there is a need for a proper centre. And you're quite correct, sir. The IOM don't have a centre. All they have is an office. There's a difference between an office and a home environment that these children need to go into.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking is because I frequently go to the prison to visit some people. And I've seen that we have a lot of young people.
Yes.
For me, it is very, very scary because these people have experienced a lot.
Absolutely.
And now they don't have any respect for society because society doesn't respect them, society doesn't accept them.
Yes, listen, can I just say something there in their defense? If society doesn't give them respect, okay, then they rebel, okay? Then all of a sudden, the old school of the home training in the Gambia, we all grew up with a bit of a smack here or whatever. The home training, do this, do that. where you have parameters. When you come back as a returnee and you don't get met at the airport by your parents, there's no cuddle, there's no hugging, there's no, talking, crying, upset. No. You're met at the airport by the proper authorities that are assigned to it, IOM, immigration, and maybe police as well, and a bus. That's it. How cold is that? How cold is that? After a young man experiencing, the worst atrocities anybody could ever witness. In my years, and when I was there, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. So they do rebel, and they are going to rebel. Please don't blame them. They're rebelling because nobody cares. If they don't feel the love of their country, then what are they going to do? Nobody wants me. Everybody's calling me a migrant, a deportee. I'm not even with my parents. The bed I used to sleep in, no, but somebody else is sleeping in it. Huh? So what am I going to do? I'm going to go into ghettos. I'm going to find escapism. I'm going to end up in mile 2. I'm going to end up with mental problems, and I'm going to end up in a packed, tanka. That's all I'm going to do. You're creating mental illness. The social, what I'm trying to get across here is this. If we don't treat human beings like human beings and give them the due care and attention that they need as young people, they're going to rebel. And you're going to have high rate of everything. Crime, drugs, everything. So please, it needs to be addressed in a parental way, caring way. These are young people. They didn't commit any crimes. Take the label off them. Sorry, I'm very passionate. I just feel it's important to say.
No, I understand how it feels, because I also notice the hopelessness that, a lot of people are experiencing. But, Ebrima, I want to ask you something, because I've seen some series of documentaries. Because normally when we talk about abuse, we only think of the women. But I've seen that even males have been kidnapped by elderly Libyan women, forcing them into a situation that you can call an abuse. Is that really true?
Well, I heard these stories before, but I never witnessed them. But I think in a group, I see one Sudanese or one Somali or Sudanese. They bring her story there. He was being kidnapped by one lady. And later, there are people find the lady's family find out that there's one man who is living with him here, and the boy was being shot and killed. But this boy was being kidnapped with this lady. He was there. He hid the boy. He used him as always. But those are not many. Just there are once in 100 though. Many that's happening then is people. Many boys are raping these Libyans. The so-called navies, the so-called police and other things, because it's just a group. Me and 3 other people, we have our guns, we make a group so we can do whatever stupid thing we want to do. Another group is like that. So they are all having uniforms. So this is the problem. But normally for men to have those kind of things, it's very rare. But for the rape and other things, those are always, that's even today they are happening.
Thank you very much, Ebrima. Chair, if you have a question, go ahead before I come to Bradiba. Go ahead, Chair.
I'm just wondering if there is any way one can try to discourage these people, because these are young people that we really need. These are people that should be the future when we are older. These are the people who should take care of Gambia. And when we're losing them, we're losing a lot of talent. We're losing a lot of hard work. Is there anything that you can recommend to parents?
Well, that's what we are trying. Me and Andre, we are trying. That's what we are trying to do now. We have been to a lot of government policies here in Gambia, NGOs and other chairmen, councillors. We're trying to do our best to encourage people. Even yesterday, I was invited to a program which I started a campaign called This Not a Backway. Because these pathways are not, people need to be aware of this. People need to be aware. The only thing people are understanding that when boats are live here, they arrive in Europe. They say, oh, okay, the boats just arrived, this and this. But people are not understanding how many people are dead, how many people are dead. It was, I think this month, this November, I think we have 41 Gambians who lost their life. These are only Gambians, not all nationalities. The ones I have.
Yeah, if I may ask, Mr. Drammeh, do you think the mainstream Gambian media in the Gambia is reporting these issues?
Well, they are aware of it. Everything that is going on about this migration, we have a WhatsApp
channel. Do you read some of the stories in the newspapers?
Yeah, not sometimes they don't put. I think one guy from Foroya or two people I know them. They from normally they put them every week. They contacted me just to have, because they are part of our groups. They every day the update we put. Sometimes they publish it. Normally, people here the newspapers normally sometimes to time when we just make it now, they say boat that sank, everyone died. That's kind of news they come back with it. They run and talk it. But like this, one person died here, two person this and this. So normally this radio station, these FMs, normally they every day someone one FM will call me behind this and this. But normally people are aware of this because we have like 17 WhatsApp forums, and this WhatsApp forum we nearly have more than 50,000 followers, both Gambia, customers, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau. So whatever is happening every day, we make a daily update on this migration. People know. But now to advise Gambian don't go to Bagwe is very difficult. When I tell someone, they will tell me that Ebrima, let me go. If I die, it's better than let me remain in this country. So when someone tell you this, you don't even know what to say again. They prefer to go and die in the sea rather than to remain in this country. When you tell them, they said, I don't have any future. So that's why we've been trying to engage the government. And today also I was invited in there's a program, I don't know, with the NYC, National Youth Council with the Gambian ministries, because the appointment came, I think, like, I was sleeping around 7, they sent me an email, they tell you need to be, I tell them I cannot go, you cannot just call me now 1 hour time, you tell me you need to be here. So I even tell Andre, we need to meet the minister, I think today, but we can't. I tell them tomorrow if they want, you can meet them tomorrow. So we want to engage. We have been to a lot of places. Even State House, we've been there. We see I don't know, Lamin. We meet him in State House. We went to IOM. We went to the interior, the immigration, Talbe Bensuda, Yankuba Davo, and all that. So we're trying to engage everyone. What can we do for the sensitization?
Is there any support from State House?
For now, we don't have nothing. I was even telling Andre today, I'm even so exhausted. Like, since I came to this country, I spent more than nearly 50,000 just to go here doing all things. No one is there.
Mr. Drammeh, which country are you living in Europe? Are you on holidays in Gambia or you are based?
I'm in Malta.
You live in Malta?
I was living in Malta, yes.
Okay, so you have relocated to Gambia now?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have about 10 minutes left, so I'll come back to you, Mr. Drammeh. So now over to Bura. Bura, if you are there, if you have any question, go ahead and fire your shots.
Yeah, right, sorry. Thank you very much.
You can take it in Mandinka because Mr. Drammeh understands Mandinka. Or feel free if you want to ask in question
but
in
I will
English
take it in Mandinka. But I think Andre cannot speak Mandinka. Am I right?
No, Andrea, Adrian, can you speak Mandinka?
No.
I can understand a little bit, but I'm very
you can understand, but no problem. I will take it in English, Andrea. It's fine. Then later I will try to summarize it, or Ebrima Drammeh, we can take it in in Mandinka. Andrea, I heard that you have said that you spoke with the IG. Am I right? About regarding this issue.
I haven't spoken to the IG. What I'm saying is this. Based on what I'm seeing in the newspapers, based on what I'm seeing from the PRO of the police, crime is on the increase, drug abuse is on the increase, alcohol abuse is on the increase. So all these things are factors in relation to a large majority of these people that are frequenting are taking these substances are youths that have come back from being reintegrated back into the country. So if criminality is on the rise, drug abuse is on the rise from young people, one must beg the question, what's the root cause? Are we reintegrating them properly? Who's asking the question? It's causing a breakdown in the social fabric of the Gambia. Trust me. Ask the IGP about it. Ask anybody from Tanka Tanka. Go to Mile 2. Go to the courts. All these young people are getting into trouble because they have no parental guidance. They have no proper structures. Nothing. There needs to be a proper reintegration transition centre that they can come and stay for a duration of time to reintegrate them properly, not to an office and be told to go here and go there. No. These people are young people. They need proper reintegration. There needs to be a reintegration transition centre.
Okay. Sorry, Andrea. It's okay because the reason why I asked that question, because if you are talking about reintegration, I think prevention should be first. Because if the government cannot prevent this situation, or they cannot even minimize it, so it will be hard for them to integrate people. That's why I asked you this question. I misunderstand you because I think that you have said that you spoke with the IG. That's why I want to bring this to your attention.
PRO and newspaper evidence, and it proves in newspaper evidence. Yeah, there's evidential source information from all the agencies, from Mile 2, from the courts. They're bulging at the seams of young people, committing crimes that they wouldn't do normally if they were properly reintegrated into society and back to their families, and structures. If they don't have that, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're young people. What are they going to do? They're going to fall foul of drug abuse, alcohol, which was never seen in this country. We're seeing abuse of all these substances, drugs, alcohol. You would never see it 20 years ago. So there is a problem. There's a social breakdown happening, and people need to wake up and listen and look at what's happening and what to do about it. Otherwise, I'm afraid I don't know where this country is going. It's the youngest population under the age of 25 on the continent of Africa. So we should be looking after them, So, when the Gambia youth leave, foreign labour fills the gap. And it's happening. So if you see that, then surely that should be a barometer of there's a problem, that we got to do something, and really address this problem of the reintegration, sensitization. The battleground of sensitization is the schools, a proper program for schools for children from 13 years upwards, proper sensitization. People have to realize the majority of people in Gambia are illiterate, So the only way to educate people and sensitize people is on a one-to-one, bar, imam, Friday prayers, that style, Imam, al-Kailos, sit down and talk to them. You can't do it from Banjul. The Gambia is not Banjul. There's CRR, LRR, URR, North Bank. These are the provinces, So this is what we face. So the sensitization has to be a one-on-one. It can't be used, and it has to use simple technologies. So we have a very big illiteracy problem in the country. So sensitization has to be used on using simple technologies on a one-to-one basis with the people. Not just from Banjul, it can't be in the paper. In the newspaper. People can't even read,
Adrian, someone has just sent a text asking whether you have a statistics of how many people died so far.
In total, from what year to what year?
Well,
I know last month it was over 41 people died last month. Can we not start waking up and seeing the problem? 41 Gambian young people, 41 Gambian children died last month from the first to the last date of November. Isn't that an emergency? Aren't people feeling the urgency to do something? 40 plus people, Gambian youths, the future.
Yeah. Adrian, if I may ask, when you read stories or heard this horrible news, does it impact you? Does it affect you when you go to bed at night to sleep? Do you find it difficult to sleep?
Of course it does, because of course, and I tell you why. I'm talking like this to people all the time. People feel my passion. They understand that I have a feeling for this. And the listening, and then we'll do something, and then nothing. There is a need for us as civil society to support us. People can feel us. They understand the programs we're trying to achieve. Get behind us. Let's change. Let's make changes. We can't just continue on like this. Government can do so much, but it needs civil society to kick in as well. And we're here. We're knocking on doors. We're talking.
Did someone you personally know died through the back way? Do you know anybody who was close to you?
My wife, God rest her soul, one of her relatives died. So I am touched by it. I have a relative, somebody in Tudering, where I live for the last 20 years. A daughter died with her 2 children still in Spain, only last week. So this is everybody's problem in the Gambia.
And Adrian, if I may ask, your wife is Gambian, is it?
My wife passed away 2 months ago.
Oh.
I was married to her for 20 years, yeah.
A Gambian?
It's a sad story. A Gambian, Mandinka lady, a lovely woman.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes.
Please accept our condolences.
No problem.
Sorry about that.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh,
but the point I'm trying to make to you here is this. I can't stress it enough how serious this is. It's a humanitarian emergency that people have to wake up and support this, I make a milestone agreement with the missing migrants, about missing migrants, the International Commission on Missing Persons in The Hague. Can you imagine? And people will listen, but they won't do anything. So, corporate Gambia has to step up. The general public have to listen and support in any way you can. Corporate sector, Gambia government. This is not just, our problem. It's everybody's problem. It's collective. And there's no point in putting the blame game. It's his fault. It's the government's fault. It's this. It's not. It's collective. You start playing the blame game, then you start building dividers. You have Christian and Muslim. Then you have dividers. You build walls. Stop building walls. Let's be open about this subject.
Now, Adrian, I'm afraid we only have few minutes left. The stories that I've had today will really keep me awake at night. Definitely, I've had very, very horrible stories. I wish that more Gambians know what is happening and become more aware. This will help people, because this back way definitely has to stop, or else we'll have brain drain. Because we cannot just have our young Gambians just going to Europe, die on the way. Then who will take care of Gambia? As you have said, sometimes when you take the gele, and most of the people in this gele, they are foreigners, which means that they are our labor force. In your view, what long-term strategies should the Gambia adopt to address the root causes of migration?
All right, if it was me, I would start with the schools as the battleground for information, safe pathways, to look at European safe pathways. At the end of the day, Europe's demographics are changing. Europe needs workers, and the Gambia needs work. Start looking at the skills that the Gambian youths have. Career guidance, proper skill centres, proper apprenticeships, 3-year apprenticeships that are certificated, that they can go anywhere in Europe on. That increases our human capacity. We don't have to import any foreign labour or experienced labour because it's homegrown. So please, I'll be looking at skills. I'll be looking at programs in schools to sensitise children on trafficking, what that means, smuggling, what does that mean, and safe pathways to Europe. That it's not all about taking a boat, take a plane, but do it with education, because education will set you free. Sensitisation of the general public. Remember, you're dealing with a general public that's predominantly illiterate. So you have to use simple technologies. Go to the village, meet them one-on-one. They don't read, they don't write. You have to use simple technologies to pass on sensitization. It's not about building a concrete block wall house in a village that's going to, set you free. And that's what they aspire to. So the government, civil society have to get involved. It's a collective responsibility. Before the social nucleus there's cracks in it, it's breaking down. Before it completely disintegrates, mechanisms have to be put in place. A proper reintegration tradition centre has to be put in place. Otherwise, the revolving door back to Europe will be there. Criminality will increase. Drug abuse will increase. And we're just going around and round like a merry-go-round, and nothing's going to change unless change is made. So that's my advice to everybody in the Gambia, for the general public and for government, because government are the ones that can drive most of this. But civil society, general public, this is what I'm saying. So instead of, exporting our use and importing labour, let's look at the school program for teaching people about, the back way and the dangers it brings. Misinformation, change the narrative. That's another big one, misinformation. And get behind civil society. I mean, at the moment, we have a missing migrant program. We've collected 4,000 missing children, data. I have a data partnership with one of the biggest forensic organizations in the world, where I can collect post-mortem and anti-mortem and check with post-mortem. People aren't listening. They really aren't. So we have programs. I've got a children's program for schools. So, somebody should sit down with us and say, right, what can we do collectively? We're a supporting mechanism as a civil society. We're not just standalone, but it feels like we're standalone. That's the sad part about it. We should be integrating with the government and other stakeholders in this. It's not just one person. It's a collective responsibility. Anyway, I have a lot more to say, but, I'm taking up everybody's time here. But I think that the urgency, you have to understand, this is humanitarian. The urgency on this is incredible. If nothing is done. If it continues on like this, I really don't know. So I'm appealing to corporate Gambia. I'm appealing to the Gambian government. Get behind civil society. We can work together and try as best we can to solve these problems that are going to affect the Gambia for the future of this Gambia. If we don't put a mechanism in place now, I fear for the Gambia's future.
Mr. Adrian Crorish, thank you very much for coming to AG Radio. We'll definitely invite
problem.
you another time. We really value your presence here, and thank you very much. Now over to Mr. Ebrima Drammeh. Mr. Drammeh, I'll ask you a question, and then once you answer it, you can just make your closing statement. I wish we have more time because I have lots of questions to ask, but time didn't allow us. How can local skills training, education, or job creation programs reduce irregular migration in your view?
Well, the things I cannot say here, the Gambians are lack of awareness on this bad issue. Now in Gambia, people are giving money. The parents themselves, they are giving money to their children to go this back way. There are a lot of things. As there's not much time, but inshallah, maybe another time we'll talk about it. Here, when you are even living in a compound, you have coming from this extended family. Your father is having 2 wives. The other wife has a children in Europe who is making his mother, the life of his mother has been changed. You buy a good bed, you change a lot of things from her, taking her to Hajj and other things. So the other woman who is living in the house doesn't have anyone there in Europe. So you see, when that lady also, that woman also having a children or a child, even a daughter now, you want to push her to go to Europe to find something. I met last week. I met one woman. He was crying. He told me, Ibrahim, I was with my other woman. His daughter, he do everything. So his son do everything to her. I'm here. We live in. I don't have nothing. If I to do something, to buy a shop to wash things and this, my clothes is a problem for me. I push my son to go. Now the son is already lost for 3 years. He never know even his son is. The lady is on trauma. He's crying every day and night. So it's horrible. Here, people lack of awareness. And this awareness, government are the one. Government is the person who should lead this thing. As Andre was saying, we are here on the ground. We know everything what is happening in this migration. Everything in this here, the boats who departed from Gambia, those in Mauritania, in Morocco, Tunisia, anything that's happening, I get information. Because for me, we are here. People, those migrants, we get direct communication from them. If they enter in the water now, in the next 10, 15 minutes, I will get a message, Ibrahim, we are in this kind of condition, this and this. So for us, we want to government and in all the international organizations to join our hands together to see what we can do here. Not only it's only Europe we can make it. We can make it here in Africa, in Gambia. But how? This is the problem. You cannot just say people don't go. No, that's before I was speaking what I was telling you. Now, when you tell people here, don't go to this back way, they tell you, I rather die better than me to stay here. Last week, I don't know, 10 days ago, there was a police officer. He's working here with his intent. He went to this back way and died.
A police officer?
I know a nurse.
A police officer?
Police officer, yes. Police officer is working in Banjul on the one courthouse. This is a police officer. There's a nurse who is working, I don't know, in Bansang or which hospital. He died in this journey, this month. And as I'm speaking, I know more than 7 teachers who are stuck in Morocco at the moment, who are taking this back way. How many students are going every day? And those people, they are working. Those teachers, those police, they are working. Now, if those people, the teachers and police are leaving, now how can you say to the student, or how can you tell someone who is not working, don't go, don't take the risk and go to back way? They tell you, where I'm going. That's why they sacrifice. And they say, let me go. If I die, I die. I don't have any future. So if someone dies, I don't have any future. Now, what can the government do? As what Andre was saying, last time I have been complaining. But the Sanchez come from Italy, from Spain. He come to Gambia. He go to Mauritania. Mauritania signed a very good deal. They build some companies. I think 4 companies Mauritania build. People are working. But here they came here. They put these stupid labor works. They take them we take some people to go to Spain and work for 6 months, 3 months, and came back. Now those people who go, now they all escape. Now the other part who is here, are the Spanish authorities going to allow them, give them visa to go? They will not. So what is the benefit? And we complain these things. They take the women here 25 or I don't know 26 to Saudi Arabia just for $200, $200. We complain them, don't do this. It's not a good deal. Nobody listens. Now many of those girls are every day calling people. We are coming back. How can you go and work for $200 per month?
This is definitely very, very sad. Mr. Drammeh, now we just have 1 minute left. Can you take it in Mandinka?
Yes, okay, 1 minute. Membe jitron, maybe lamuro sa inteng amu beten. Membe jitron nim bagwe, company men kuma solo men tinoto bagwe. Because bagwe mfennete amanke solution oti alalan wolu nin karoda man kono gambe dimo mo tannane ani killing wala fara. Ni men fata ela wulula be ko bokan every day. Sign them benin dia mo men den kulone be joko men wulta jinek. me yalon ko neali to mo keme mo tawro be kulun kono hansa mo malon kono be dame 16 days adon 16 days be ngalo mo te baluno la kono so no ni be jiko non simen fo no be fata la woro no be fata sai mo tawro mo keme mo tawro ni mo tanan ni kire akamuta Gambia fota mo keme fulalla so karkilon kono mo ma sibolati so ni bagbe manke silati me yalon ko silolo mo nyanta mentano la simen fo no mo bro man sakunda bang ani ordinance international organization be jangam bulo ko nyoma ani tel membe be jang ka insa kenu nyade ka kuma mulie ka futa mulma antabalto lumolto maketo to dawdan ni radio to kadi am mulie ka fa mulie bagbe nyu muna mala masiboti anabe mun kule la kan ka to hanni futa tibabdu sainte be sanje dalle ke la pebeta ebe integrate la ebe kay to sot la ka to bengal net tibabdu sainte migrant fan mo mulie men yalan ko ma welcome net tibabdu sainte la fa café fan winda dron il a fait que la prime ministre bi président be kala anti migrant de para tol so woto ci même fono mo le don bagbe manke siloti man sakundal sin ka funo bulola ani banku ko ton ni mo ko ton men yalan ko be jang europe ni fan ka polo de marol men di man sakunda kana ni ko tay ka bulle ci kokon ya nata men la pol kan ya dundu wala pol kunto woto ngamol be tendo ngal jay al bati malamo Ebrima Drammeh jama ka fo Ibrahim migration situation.
Mr. Ebrima Drammeh, it was an honor having you here on AG Radio, as well as Mr. Adrian Crorish. Adrian Crorish is an Irish based in the Gambia for the last 20 years. He is the founder of African Migration Advisory Center. Or if anybody would like to contact Adrian or Ebrima, if you contact AG Radio, we will connect you to them. Solving the migration issue in the Gambia requires addressing both the root causes that push people to leave and the conditions that make irregular migration appealing. There is no single solution to this problem, but a combination of strategies can greatly reduce the problem. Number one, we should create jobs and boost the economy. Most Gambians leave because they see no economic opportunity at home. Invest in youth employment programs. Support small businesses. Create incentives for industries, tourism, tech agriculture, fishing to hire young people. Improve access to microloans and funding for startup. This will help young Gambians to stay and discourage them from taking the back way. On top of that, we have to strengthen technical and vocational training. Many young people lack employable skills. Expand vocational training in trades like carpentry, welding, ICT, plumbing, mechanics, etc. Offer training with local companies. This will help young Gambians and discourage them from taking the back way. We must also address climate change and support farmers. Climate change is destroying farmland and livelihoods. And these are some of the issues that pave the way for young Gambians to take the back way. To solve this thing, we have to improve irrigation system and drought-resistant seeds, educate farmers on modern farming techniques, support sustainable agriculture and access to agricultural loans, provide alternative income opportunities in rural areas. These things will help. But are we doing that? No, we are not doing it. And unless we take these issues, people will just be taking the back way, meaning that many young Gambians will die. And this is what is contributing to the brain drain. Gambians are running away from Gambia. Foreigners are coming in, taking the jobs. This is very, very sad. Mbokk yu tedda yi ñu ngi jégalu ne programme bi tey si angale la ak si mandinka li ko waral mooy den fa benn tubaab bu ñoo ooyee Adrian Crorish moom Ireland la jógee moom mooy di founder of African Migration Advisory Center. Ba pare tamit sun gan gi Mr. Ebrima Drammeh moom tamit dégg na angale waaye déggul olof dégg na tamit mandinka moo tax tey waxtaan bi ñu ko doon def si angale ak si mandinka so fii la waxtaan ji daldi am fi na du def lu dut daldi umba lépp loo xam ne Adrian Crorish ak Mr. Ebrima Drammeh waxtaaneen ko fi boole lépp loo xam ne Baboucarr Mbodj laajte na ko fi Aburadi ba daldi leen ko jëbal bàyyi waxtaan ji mu continuer daw si seeni xel yéen Gambian yi yéen attekat yi nga xam ne yéen atte lépp loo xam ne dégg ngeen ko fi di leen gërëm di leen sant si déglu bi di leen dimbal yàlla wàcc si réew Gambia ba ilaa yow mi diin seeni mbokka Saliu Njie salaamaaleykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakaatu waahiru daawaana an alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin